The first hospital in Richmond was actually a Japanese Methodist mission. The mission was built in 1895 on the grounds of the Phoenix Cannery to rectify the spiritual decay of the hundreds of mostly male Japanese fishermen who were squandering their earnings on alcohol, gambling, and brothels. Just 2 years later, a typhoid epidemic hit. The Japanese Methodist mission became a makeshift hospital, with members acting as nurses. In the first year, the hospital saw 750 patients, 182 of whom were hospitalized, including one Caucasian and one Aboriginal person. 27 people died in hospital that year. The mission served as a hospital for the next fishing season and reverted back to a mission during the rest of the year. Forward-thinking fishermen saw the need for a more permanent facility. The nearest hospitals were in Vancouver or New Westminster, and differences in language and culture made these hospitals less appealing to the Japanese. In 1897, Japanese fishermen formed the Fraser River Fishermen's Association, known in Japanese as the Dantai, with close to 3,500 members. Tomokichi Homa was the first president. The Dantai worked to improve the lives of Japanese fishermen. This included establishing a hospital. With the help of the Japanese Methodist mission, the Dantai raised funds to acquire land and lumber and built the new hospital for about $2,000. The new Japanese hospital opened in 1900 at First and Chatham. It could accommodate 30 patients, but was often overcrowded. For an annual fee of $2 per boat, members had the right to free examinations and medications. Non-members, including non-Japanese, would also be admitted for a fee if space were available. Fees were often difficult to collect, as the income of fishermen fluctuated from year to year, depending on the abundance of salmon. The Dantai constantly struggled to meet the costs of running the hospital, but leaders of the community, including the Japanese consul, saw the hospital as an important symbol of Japanese contributions to Canadian society. Health and living conditions improved in 1910 when a supply of clean drinking water from New Westminster was set up. Many of the illnesses that ravaged the community disappeared as proper water and sewage systems were installed. By 1923, the hospital created a separate maternity facility and had nurses operate it independently. The fee for a midwife to deliver a baby was $35. The Japanese hospital continued to serve the Steveston community until 1942, when World War II broke out in the Pacific. The Canadian government then interned Japanese Canadians, forcing them to relocate from the coast of British Columbia. The Army, Navy, and Air Force veterans acquired the facility in 1947. The hospital burned down in 1956. A memorial for the Japanese hospital is now located on Chatham Street in Steveston. The last remaining building from the hospital complex is the building you are standing in now, the Japanese Fishermen's Benevolent Society building. It was moved here to become part of the Steveston Museum to preserve this fascinating part of West Coast history.